Hello friends, welcome. Friends, I am recording this video in sequence to the earlier video which I recorded where I explained as to how the existing spectrum auction got converted inadvertently into a process of administrative assignment. I encourage you to watch that video and you will find that video very interesting and informative. Now friend, one aspect of this video or this issue which is important for us to investigate is to this whole point about market discovery, market price discovery of auctions. Whether the market price discovery of auction is rational, whether this is rational, whether there was a need to make some corrections, whether there was a need to make some regulatory oversight, or whatever we did as a regulator since the time when the auctions have begun was the right thing to do, because that is what I want to investigate in this video. And for that I am going to use the same tool which I used in the earlier video. Now friends, it will be very interesting to talk about certain aspect of auction which is going to be extremely important for the viewers to understand, because auction is a very complex activity. Now, whoever who doesn't have any understanding of the auction, how the auctions are run, will not be able to understand anything about whether the discovered price has got any kind of relation with the market discovery, or can the discovered price be compared with an auction design which has happened or which was there in the future years when the auctions have happened. Whether we can make a fair comparison of the prices which got discovered in the past auction. That's the point. Because in India, there is a practice that whatever price got discovered in the past auction has become a reference price. So just to summarize in simple words, whether that reference price which has got discovered in the past auction is the right metric to use. In net, that is what I am trying to say. And whether there was a need for a regulatory correction in order to make the auction more robust and to ensure that the players participating in the auction behave more responsibly. Because that is how you can preserve market competitiveness and you can cause price discovery, right? So again, this is a very complex topic and I want to make this topic as simple as possible, and that is where my challenge is, because as I explained in the earlier video that the whole country was under the impression about 1.76 lakh crore scam, and somehow we find out today that the value that was used to measure the scam was not the correct metric to use, right? Similarly, we have to figure out whether the metric that has been used to value spectrum for future auction is the right metric or not. That is the whole purpose of this video. Anyway, I don't want to waste any more time because we have to go straight to the data. Otherwise, the video will become very long. So friends, what I've done is that I have I'm using the same tool for this exercise. And let me explain. Again, it will become a little bit of complex. I will like you to put all your focus, and I'll make an attempt to explain this as simple as possible. Now friend, in my tool, which I am again going to share in my description of this video, what I have done is I have created certain metric to measure the intensity of the auction, and I'm going to focus on these 3 years, right? 2010 when the 2G auction happened, the 2G scam happened. Before that and after that 3G auction happened in 2010, and then 2014 and 15, which is a renewal auction. Because all future auctions mostly were based on the price which got discovered in these auctions. Though there were some corrections which took place later, but those corrections were not sufficient enough to remove the distortions which took place in these years. And let's understand what distortion took place in these years and why it was necessary to make those corrections which we haven't been able to execute. Okay, so let's do that. So what I've done is I have got two sessions. Again, the same philosophy on the same strategy I'm using. I'm creating two different sessions of the same tool in two different compartments of the window so that we can evaluate the situation side by side. Now, what is this? This is the 2010 2100 maker, that is a 3G band. And what I've done is that I have created a matrix which lists out bidder ranks in the chosen window of rounds. Now let me explain what I mean by this, which is a very complex topic, by the way, just be with me. First, understand this matrix. So we have circles on the x-axis and we have operators on the y-axis, right? Now you can see the operators have been numbered with digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, like Bharti 1, Bharti 2, Bharti 3, Bharti 4, like that, etc. 2, etc. So these are what? These are ranking of the operator in a particular circle within a chosen window of time. For example, in 3G, whoever follows auctions very closely, they will know that 3G auction lasted for 183 rounds. Now within that 183 rounds, which is a sequence of rounds on which the auctioneer will advertise the price and you have to say yes or no, and depending upon the various metrics which are already declared in the notice for invitation of applications, or notice for invitation of auction, these metrics will be decided. On the basis of that, the ranking will be made in a particular round for an operator. Now, depending upon that ranking, depending upon the number of slots which are available in a particular circle, what will happen is that, let's say there are 3 slots available and there are 4 bidders in that circles. The 4 bidders are going to be ranked in sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, and only 3 operators are going to be declared as provisional winner, PWB, provisional winning bid, right? So the 4th one will be at loss. So he has to bid again, so that to come within that 1 to 3 rank, so that he can be within that group of operators who can get spectrum. Because if there are 3 slots and if you are a 4th bidder, you will not get the slot, right? So what I've done is that I have used this metric, whether an operator was bidder rank number 1, bidder rank number 2, bidder rank number 3, bidder rank number 4 in a particular circle, and how many times within the window of rounds, like round number 1 to round number 183, how many times he stood out as first, how many times he stood out as second, how many times he stood out as third, like that, right? Because why this is important? Because this gives you a metric to evaluate how intense the bidding was for a particular, how intense a particular operator bid in that auction for that circle. Because this will give him a metric, because if he is bidding very, very intensely, then he will either be first, second, like if you are going to participating in an exam and you are studying very hard, then you have an option to be within a particular window of ranking, right? You can be first, second, third. Sometimes you are lucky, you become first. Sometimes you are unlucky, you become second, third, like that, right? Similarly, in auction also, if you are bidding very, very intensely, you can fall within that particular group of operators depending upon your intensity of bidding. Now, if you look at this, from bidding number 1 to from round number 1 to round number 183 in 2010, for the 3G band, I would like to point to one important fact. You see Aircel. You watch Aircel. You watch Arcom, which is Reliance. You watch Estel. You watch Tata. These are the 4 operators which I want you to watch. And then I want you to watch the circle Delhi, Mumbai, and some of the other important circles. Let's focus on Delhi, Mumbai. Can you see that Aircel actually had bid 60 times? He became bidder number 1, ranked number 1 in Delhi. And how many times Bharti was ranked number 1? 64 times, right? Aircel was ranked number 2 35 times in Delhi and 25 times in rank number 3 in Delhi. Similarly, Bharti was 22nd times rank number 2 and 15 times rank number 3. So if you add all these ranks together, you will find that the bidding intensity of Aircel in Delhi was higher than that of Bharti. Now let me ask another question. Where is Aircel today? Aircel is now lost in oblivion. It is out of business. But it contributed in creating a reference price for Delhi, which is very high, which I showed you in the earlier video. The Delhi prices went 10 times higher than the reserve price in the 3G auction. Now, this is the same situation which I explained to you earlier, that during drought, when there is no water supply, you go for purchasing a tanker and use the reference price for tanker to measure the rate of or the price of water that you are receiving on your house on a regular basis. And if you are paying less, then I accuse you for what are you doing? You are basically depriving the exchequer, because the water money is collected by the government. So you are depriving the exchequer of the revenues that is due for collection, because you paid 3,000 rupees for 1,000 liter for tanker. You should pay same amount, 3,000 rupees, for water that is being supplied regularly to your house. So in same situation, these people, and then what will happen is that there will be few people who will actually do what? Because if the drought prolonged for a long period of time, they will pay for one time, they will pay for second time, they will pay for third time, and let's say if it continues for a year, they will vanish from the scene. Either they will move to a different city or they will either perish. Right? That's what's going to happen. Same thing happened with Aircel, same thing happened with Arcom, same thing happened with Tata. They went out of business. Right? But the reference rate which was set by Aircel, Arcom and Tata by bidding intensely in that particular circle like Delhi and Mumbai, those reference rates remain, and those reference rates were considered by the government as a market discovered price. Can you get how funny and how there is no economic basis for this argument that reference price of an auction has to be the past market discovered price, and you don't see the context on which the market discovered price took place. Right? That is one. The second important point to note here, which is extremely important to understand, is that many people will not know that the closing rules of 2010 auctions were different from the closing rules of all future auctions. Now, what is closing rule and why it is important? Let me explain. Let me make you understand this. Now, the 2010 auction was designed to extract as much money from the operators to enable or motivate the operators to keep bidding till the time they actually run out of money. That's how the auction was designed. Now, what is basically the meaning of this? Let me explain why the operators will keep on bidding till the time their banks are going to become empty. Right? What happened was there was no certainty in the 2010 auction that even if you are a provisional winning bidder, means if you are within the first, second, third rank in any of the preceding round, that you will be able to win the auction in the next round, because the auction can end abruptly. There is no opportunity that you will get in the next round if the auction ends to able to recover your loss. Let's say if you are first in a particular circle, in a round number, let's say 182, I'm going to show you this, and 183, the auction ends abruptly. Even if you are first in the in the earlier round, you will not get an opportunity to bid in the 184th round because the auction has ended. Therefore, what happened was some of the bidders, they were not sure that when the auction is going to end, and they kept on bidding and the prices went very high. And let me explain in very simple terms why I am saying this. And this is going to be very interesting. So what I am going to do, I am going to put a number here, 182. Okay. Now between, so not 182. Okay. Because this is important. So 182 is the 182nd round, and 183 is the last round of the 2010 auction. So we have got how many rounds? 2 rounds. Now within these 2 rounds, I am going to count that how many times Bharti was a provisional winning bidder. So let's count here, right? 1, which is basically AP, second, third, fourth, four circles. Then we have got 5th circle, 6th circle, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Right? You saw 17. Now, this is the last round, which is the 184th round, 183rd round. Now see how many circles, there were 17 here, right? Bharti was provisional winning bidder. Now see, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So Bharti lost 5 circles in the last round because they chose to close the auction. They chose not to bid, because if they had bid in 183rd round, which was the last round, they would have perpetuated the auction, and the price that you saw in Delhi, Mumbai from the reserve price would have gone further up. So they sacrificed those 5 circles in order to put a plug on the auctions. This is the reason why the 2010 auction prices went haywire. It was not just because of the 2G scam, by the way, or the number of bidders who actually got subsidized spectrum. It was because of the design of the auction, which makes the auction so bad that the bidders kept on bidding, and they were not sure at the end of the when auction went very intense and it was in the flag end of the auction, whether they were going to become a winner or not. And in order to close the auction, they actually have to not bid in the next round, because if they have bid in the next round, then there were certain rules which I don't want to explain. It will make the video very complex. The auction would have continued, right? So that is what you need to understand. So this is what 2010 auction, okay? Now let's go to the 2015 auction. And you can basically, go into this tool and watch this yourself, investigate this yourself. Now the next round of auction was 2014 900 MHz band, which is important to understand. So 900 MHz band, also I'm going to do the same thing, rank, okay? So what I will do is I will basically take out the same thing, and here also I am going to do 2014 900 MHz band, and here also what I am going to do, I am going to do ranks, okay? No, let's do the following. Let's keep this like this, because there are 2 things which I am going to compare, and then if required I am going to I'll choose a different option. Now here you see in 2014 auction, you recall in 2014 auction all these 3 circles of 900 MHz band were expiring, right? I told you earlier also. This was the renewal auction. Now can you see Bharti has been bidding in Delhi, which I told you that these people had no other option but to bid, because there was a existing network in operation and other bid for fun, right? Because there were no stake for them, and if they bid in the same band where these operators were, then what happens is they will raise the price. Now you see here in Delhi, there were actually in 900 MHz there were only 3 operators playing. Who were there? Bharti was there, Idea was there, and Vodafone was there. Now, what was the need for RGO and Tata bidding in this circle in 900 MHz in 2014? Because RGO was just starting to, they were not even ready to roll out, and they actually were in 2300 MHz band and 900 MHz. Only 3 circles were in offer, and they bid only for few rounds in the initial stages. They had no intent to acquire spectrum. Similarly, Tata was also a CDMA player, right? So why did they bid in Kolkata, right? They had no intent to get 900 MHz band. They actually were not a GSM operator at that particular point of time. They probably, even in Delhi, if you see, Tata did not had a license, right? And I don't want to confuse this video by going into so much details, but on a high level you can see that Bharti was ranked number 1 in Delhi 62 times, 66 times it was ranked number 1 in Kolkata, and it was ranked number 1 in Mumbai 66 times. Similarly, Vodafone 47 times, 60 times, and 56 times. And then similarly, Idea also wanted to bid very, very vigorously. So Idea bid 37 times in Delhi, and also bid in Mumbai. RGO was ranked number 2, ranked number 1 in 2 times ranked number 1 in Delhi, 4 times ranked number 2 in Delhi, and ranked number 3. 2 times ranked number 3 in Delhi. And in Mumbai, RGO was 10 times ranked number 2 and 1 times ranked number 3, right? Now you get the picture. Now here, this particular chart, which is on the right hand side of your window, you can see that Bharti bid 27 times, right? And it won. Idea bids 21 times, it won. Vodafone bid 20 times, means positive bid, making a positive bid, it won. RGO bid 8 times, it lost. And similarly in Mumbai, Bharti bid 13 times and 8 times, Idea 8 times, it lost. And Vodafone 10 times it won, and RGO bid 9 times, it lost. Right? Tata also bid similarly and they lost. Right? So in nutshell, basically their bidding made no sense. It only raised the cost of Bharti, Vodafone and Idea. Right? This is what simple message which I wanted to give. Right? So as to basically tell you that whatever came out of this auction was not a market discovered price, because it came out from a auction design which resulted in operators wanting to take back their spectrum in order to ensure business continuity. Now let's go to one more band, or one more year, which is the next year, which is 2015. Now if you look at 2015, you will find that this thing has got further enhanced. This bidding in somebody else's band got further enhanced in 2015. Right, in the 900. Why I am focusing on 900 megahertz band? Because this band's prices went haywire. Right, there were bidding by other players like in 800 megahertz band. I'm not saying that Bharti, Vodafone, Idea did not bid in 800 megahertz band. Don't get me wrong. Everybody actually bid in each other's band and raised the price of others. Right, wherever they got the opportunity, they raised the price of the competitor. So they will do, that is natural. They didn't do anything wrong, right? It is the regulator who actually has to come and intervene and make sure that these kind of distortions are corrected in the next auction. The prices were not market discovered because of this reason. Okay? So that is the regulator should have taken all these things into consideration. It is not the mistake of the operators, because that they are doing to enhance maximum value for their stockholders. And everybody will do that, right? There is nothing wrong with that. Okay. Now coming to the 2015, and what I'm saying is, here also you look at 900 megahertz band. Now look, Delhi was not there, Mumbai was not there, and Kolkata was not there. But I would like you to focus on very, very important circle: UP East, UP West, and Rajasthan. Now why I am focusing on UP East, UP West, and Rajasthan? Because there were certain interesting things which happened, which resulted in their price going so high that it became par with Mumbai and Delhi. And why did it happen? Look at this. RGO. RGO bid 17 times, right? It was in Punjab, RGO was in 900 megahertz band. Let's look at all the circles. So let's look at Punjab first. 25 times it was PWB 1, which means bidder number 1, ranked 1. 17 times in Rajasthan, 29 times in UP, 25 times in UP West, UP East and UP West. Now let's compare this with other bidders on this particular circle. Let's talk about Bharti. Bharti was bidding in Rajasthan because that was the interest, that was their circle of interest. So they bid 78 times. Then in the same circle, these are all, I will not, I just ignore Aircel for the time being. Let's talk about Vodafone. Vodafone bid how much time? 91 times, right? They were bidder PWB1 and 3 times PWB2, right? Means rank 2. Now UP East, if you see, Idea was 6 times PWB1, that is rank 1. RGO was 29 times, Tata was 1 time, and then Vodafone was 79 times, right? This is again 900 megahertz circles, and this has got nothing to do with Reliance Jio, and because Reliance Jio until date has taken not a single megahertz of in 900 megahertz band, okay? And I'll also tell you why Reliance was forced to bid. This is also important to understand. Reliance actually did not bid of his own, interest to raise the price. That may have been one of the reason, but they were forced to bid in these 3 rounds, which is important to understand. And for that, I will like to take you through a different band in the same year, which is 800 megahertz band. Now let's understand 800 megahertz band, which is also going to be very, very interesting. Okay, so let's go here. And what I am going to do is I am going to bring the same picture before you. Okay, 800 megahertz band. Why 800 megahertz band? Because this was a combined auction. The 900 megahertz and the 800 megahertz were auctioned together and you can switch between bands depending upon what your interests are. You can basically go from one band to another band between the auction. Now, if you look at 800 megahertz band, some interesting picture comes out. Now, 800 megahertz band is of importance for Reliance. It's a Reliance band because it's a 4G band, okay? And Reliance wanted to grab maximum spectrum in this particular band in order to consolidate its position in 4G, because that's how Reliance rolled out its future network. This was not a GSM band. It started with the CDM band, and Bharti, Vodafone and Tata really didn't have any interest, right? Tata had some interest, but Bharti, Vodafone did not, and Idea did not have any interest. And they were all focused on 900 megahertz band, the three operators, Bharti, Vodafone and Idea. Reliance Jio here, and Tata, probably, I don't know why they bid in this circle, because they were a CDMA operator, they were focused in the 800 megahertz band. And that's where the problem was. Now, for Reliance, the 800 megahertz band was a new band, because they didn't have any spectrum earlier before this auction. Earlier, whatever spectrum existed with ARCOM. ARCOM had the spectrum, not RGO. RGO did not have spectrum, right? The both companies, one was ARCOM, another is RGO. RGO did not have. For them, it was a new band. For Tata, it was an existing band. Now, the rules of the auctions are such that if you are an existing player, you can bid at the granularity of the lowest block size. And the block size of 800 megahertz band was 1.25 megahertz. Okay. Now, if you are a new existing player can bid or the minimum block size. If I said something wrong, please correct this. Existing player can bid the minimum block size. However, if you are a new player, you have to bid for the full block size, which can be as high as 5 megahertz or the minimum quantum which existed. For example, 3.75, then you have to bid for the full 3.75. If it is 2.5, then you have to bid for the full 2.5. But if it is going to be more than 5 megahertz, let's say 6.25, then you can bid up to 5 megahertz. So that was the rule. So existing player can bid 1.25, a new player has to bid 5 megahertz. So what was happening was that if you look at AP, right, and if you look at Maharashtra, and if you look at Delhi, see, Tata was bidding phonetically between 1.25 and 2.5. And Reliance was trying to bid for the full quantum of spectrum. Now, if you are going to bid for a larger block size, you have to put more money on the table. And if I bid for a smaller block size, then I will bid less money on the table. So Reliance was not able to outbid Tata, right, in these three important circles. So they became so frustrated at the end of the auction, in the flag end of the auction, they moved all their points because they were continuously bidding because they wanted these circles desperately. They moved all their points from 800 megahertz band to 900 megahertz and started bidding in Rajasthan, UP East and UP West. So this was the second flaw in the auction design. The auction design should have been designed in such a way that when bidding is happening in the auction, these kind of disparities are not there. You need to design, you need to find spectrum, you need to ensure that it is a level playing condition, and this has become much more bad in future. Like if you look at the current auction, in the 800 megahertz band, the similar situation exists. Bharti can take 800 megahertz band, but Bharti can't take 800 megahertz band for 5G because Reliance is an existing player. Bharti has to bid 5 megahertz in 800 megahertz band, and Reliance can bid only 1.25. So by bidding 1.25, you might bid a fraction of the money and waste that money, right? Consume that money, maybe take that spectrum, but you can block your competitor from accessing that particular spectrum band and become a threat to you, because Bharti needs low frequency band to do what? Standalone 5G, because their 5G is not standalone. It's not a pure 5G. It's a impure 5G because 4G is layered below 5G, and therefore wherever there is no 5G coverage, you are basically using voice for 4G spectrum to able to supplement for those holes, and all your voice is actually running on 4G, not on 5G. You are not doing NR voice, right? So that's the problem, and that is where this problem happened. Okay, so I can basically show you, how the bidding took place. If I go here, and I think it was round number 80 and round number 90. Let me just pick one round. I don't remember exactly the round number. And you will find that absence of RGO from AP. You see, RGO is not there here. And here, if I choose the same rounds, let's choose the same rounds, 80 and 90, though it may not be the accurate round numbers. And you will find, can you see RGO's presence here, right? They have moved all their points from here to here, right? So these are the problems on the auction design. So as a regulator, it's important to understand all these things before you can't call a particular price as market discovered. It is not market discovered. Like 2010 price of 3G was not market discovered because all the auctions later, the closing rules were changed in order to prevent that kind of distortion which took place in 2010. Similarly, these kinds of change from one circle to another circle without the intent to buy spectrum. If you are really intending to buy a spectrum and really focused in buying a particular block and you are making a positive bid, I can understand. I can really understand. This is a market discovered price, but this is not that because of distortion within the auction design. Now you get it. What the problem was. So I will not like to go further on this because it will basically take my video much further than already 31 minutes have passed in this video. So this is the next phase of the video. Though there are many things to talk about, which I have not spoken about in this video because it is a very complex topic and I want to make the topic as simple as possible without losing the triviality of without making the issue trivial, because as soon as you make the issue trivial because of the complexity, it is kind of natural. Sometimes you are forced to remove all the details from the argument, and therefore the argument loses the strength and people really don't understand what is going on, right? So anyway, thank you. And the next video I'm going to do probably, maybe I will do a video on satellite spectrum to tell you that what kind of distortion which took place in satellite spectrum auction, or the Deva scam and the current, the political narrative which is going on that the satellite spectrum should be auctioned. I'm going to talk about that, why that is an incorrect kind of narrative. Same thing is getting repeated what happened in 2G scam, right, which we are paying the price even today. And we are going to talk about, what should be the auction design. That is the key part. And there could be many other issues which we can talk about. Let me figure out, what it makes sense we can talk about, and I'll come back to you with a new video. Okay. So thanks for watching and staying till the end of the video. And it takes a lot of pain and effort to basically do all this video. And I hope that you like it because that's where the effort is. The effort is to make people understand this issue because I myself get so much pain. I've been hearing this for such a long period of time, this 2G scam. Everybody is going crazy about this 2G scam. And I didn't have the leverage to talk about because I was working for a commercial interest. I could not have done that, right? Now I have the capability to talk about it because I don't have a commercial interest, right? So I am kind of immune from allegations that, you are participating on the side of a particular commercial interest, and therefore I can do that, right? But it has to be done in a constructive manner. I don't want anybody to get annoyed with what I am doing. I really don't want. That is not the intent. I am not putting any allegation against anybody. My intent is to improve the system so that people who with genuine interest and really they want to do the right thing, and there are many people within the government, they want to do the right thing, but absence of this information, people get carried away. It's important for people to know all these nuances, right? Because these things are very, very difficult to understand unless you take the pain of going through the whole process, whole thing that has happened. So that's the intent. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll come back to you with a new video next time. Thank you very much.